to the Integrate Podcast. My name is Devin Adams, CEO, head coach, and we're here with Star Lord, aka D Stills, aka Get Busy in the Kitchen, chef, cooks. I'm about to say cooks. I'll tell you what I was about to say, but all I am going to say is, like, did you see New York Undercover back in the day?
Oh, yeah, I don't. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I absolutely used to love that show.
Detective stuff, cooking, illegal. That's why I just said, all right, let me just stop.
Right.
Not enough nicknames, but your nickname we already know is Star Lord. We already know you D Stills. We already know that you cut with the sledgehammer. So that's all we got right now. And a little bit, Patton's going to join us for this episode. It's late where we are, but it doesn't matter if you're tired or not. You still got to get stuff done. Still got to make moves. And
right.
You know what? You still got to stay on schedule. And I think this us talking like this helps all of us in general. I know it helps me. Does it help you?
Absolutely. Yeah, it absolutely helps me because it's a chance for me to kind of gather some of the thoughts together. You know what I mean? Like whenever I know this, it's actually a lot like journaling or something like that too. So if you we use like that, I don't know, people use terms like mindfulness or whatever.
Yeah.
One of the things that remember I was back in college and I took this course called Cultivating Meditative Awareness. Anyway, I don't know. See, that's why this helps me because you get me thinking. But what we used to do there was we had to force ourselves to journal, even if it was like 2-3 sentences. The whole thing about that is, though, people talk about being, in the present and everything else. If you know that you're going to be accountable to writing down something at the end of the day, you're paying attention to your day. Paying attention to your day is focus, and it's being present.
Thank you. I was going to say it's being present. Clutch.
Yeah. Okay. So so it absolutely helps me.
Okay, yeah, all good. Yeah, it helps me too, even when I'm tired. It still always helps, and it always helps me to go back and listen to the past episodes. I'm gonna take a couple of weeks back though and say shout out to the student versus staff game. I never talked about this, but I think I did drop 25 on the little students, and that was kind of funny. Dave, I know you was there.
Yeah, yes, I was.
Who are you rooting for, the staff or the students?
I go into those honestly, like I would love to see. I just go for the underdog on it because it's different every year. I remember a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
I was playing and at that I was actually, because other people were injured, I was the second oldest person on the floor, which was crazy because 2 years ago I was 37, and then our administrator he was 38 at the time.
Yeah,
and we went into the huddle and he said 1, 2, 3, and I said break, and he said no heart attacks, and I thought that was funny.
Gosh.
Because the kids who it was hilarious, and the kids who we were playing against they just were sprinting the whole time. I mean, that was an athletic bunch.
Yeah,
and so they didn't have quite the same skills as our team, but they just were sprinting. They knew that they could beat us if they just did fast break, and just go. Yeah. And so we had to keep up with them, and we were winded. So it was funny. But in that game, I was definitely rooting for us. We did end up beating them. But in this game that I saw, I had to root for the kids so I walk into the gym and I hear this cheering and everything, and I see this blur of like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. And then he pulls up, shoots a shot, right? And then someone gets the ball, passes it in, comes down half court. Then a blur comes up, takes the ball, goes back, shoots it again.
Oh, you came in on that part.
Yeah. And the blur was angry. He had this really super focused face on, and he wasn't missing any shots. And he was sprinting like it was like a track and field meet. Like he was just running. I mean, and I was like, why is this person moving so fast?
Yeah.
And that was Devin.
Oh.
And the thing in my brain was something to prove. So now I'm interested in knowing what was going through your mind then, because it seemed like you were really trying to make a statement, like immediately.
Well, first of all, I wanted to thank you for asking that question. I didn't lead you into that as well. That was just solely, this is all based off your curiosity. Right. This had no due diligence of pre-work or nothing like that. So thank you. But now, all seriousness, I'm 9-0 when it comes to student versus staff games. Number one. Nobody knows that, but whenever I play in high school, staff games, or middle school, regardless, I'm 9-0. Number one. Number two, they could talk trash to me. I already know I'm going to fry them. But I heard they was talking trash to Eves. Shout out to Eves, who's a sniper who played D1 basketball. So I'm like, whoa. Don't. You already know me, Dave. Don't talk about my squad. Don't talk about my friends, because then that's gonna make me upset. So once I heard that, and they was coming up to me saying, "Yeah, we're gonna crush you, and we're gonna shut him down." And I was like, "All right." So y'all don't even know who y'all really talking to for real. So that's why the first couple of plays, I just got a steal layup, got another steal jumper, stole, threw up a 3, splash world, and because I'm just like, yo, y'all don't know who y'all talking to. It's levels of this stuff. Did you, when it got close, did you think the kids were going to win?
No, I didn't. Actually, because no, I didn't. But it actually wasn't in my mind anymore because of the way you all started. And actually, once Eve warmed up, because as you mentioned, I mean, he can play.
He is a clutch shot.
He can still play. So if he gets the ball enough, it's gonna just I knew that between the two of you, it really wasn't going to happen for the students. I did, but I knew it would get closer as well.
Yeah, apparently one of the kids
because
she just started hitting threes too.
Well, right, and you all. I mean, the truth is, the longer you make that thing, the closer it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because if you talk about just physical resilience, 8th graders have it. They do. They do. They just do. Yeah.
They do. But no, that was fun. That was good. Everybody had a good time. It was good sportsmanship. But and also shout out to Dan for sending us potential Captain America, Dan Lutz, for sending us that Michael Jordan trash talking joint. Because like I said, I didn't see it. You saw it before me. He saw it. I saw it a couple days later. I was like, yo, that was actually cool. Like Michael's like that was crazy. And then I started watching a couple of other ones. I'll send it to you later, Dave.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yo, like, and he could really back it up. So shout out to those MJ Don't Talk Trash to MJ videos because they was awesome. I wonder what made him send that to us. Because he sent it early. Then he sent it like in like Monday or Tuesday of last week.
Right. He sent it a while ago. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think he understands competitiveness.
Gotcha.
He understands what it is. And, I think as he's getting to know you, he sees that in you. And I mean, anybody who knows you, that's clear. Right. And then,
how long
it's funny because
Dan for?
How long have me and Dan known each other?
Yeah.
I'm going to say, gosh, this is our 3rd year teaching together. So 2.5 years.
Oh, okay, cool. Gotcha.
Yeah. 2.5 years. And, it's funny because he's very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
But he's competitive in a way, he's so quiet that you're not going to even know. He could be sitting there, I don't know, looking like he's meditating or something like that, but he's beating you in some way. I mean, I once saw him. I mean, his level of focus when he's kind of like once he's decided to do something person,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's not going to go back on it.
Yeah.
And I could tell you, I've told you so many stories about him, about when his twins were born, or these different just things that are actually really stressful that he had to go through, that he just figures out how to do. And one of them, for anybody who teaches or does any writing, we have, at the year that I'm talking about, we had like 25 students in the room, but then in junior unit, it was about 100 students. And me and Dan were responsible, for writing 50 science reports because we had 2 different classes, like part of 50 science reports, probably 12 of another subject called, that had to do with language arts. And then for math, for science, for math, for science, and for regular, like history, social studies, you had to write another 25.
Oh,
so we're talking like, I don't know, well into 130, maybe 140 reports that each of us had to write. And most teachers take a few weeks to even a few months to write all of their reports. It's just a lot of just a lot of writing to do, a lot of compiling of information and everything. And we get one report writing day. So I'm a talkative guy and I don't like to sit for too long. I watched Dan come in. Dan came in one morning at 8 in the morning, and he said, "I'm going to finish all of these today." He sat down. He opened his computer. He sat down. He did not eat. He did not use the bathroom. He did not talk to anybody. And at 3:30, he closed his computer and he was done with his report.
That's funny because I can see him just like click, 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 click,
Yep.
click, click, click.
Just clicking the whole time. Focused. Expression didn't change. I mean, yeah. That's Dan.
That's Dan, yo. Dan's the man, yo. And he be sending me when I be like getting stressed or something. He always be sending like them clutch songs to listen to. You know what I mean? Just like, oh man, this was
Right.
my playlist. Think you might like it.
Right.
Nobody asked him to do that. You know what I mean? But that's not a segue, but that's just kind of just like, yo, like you don't always got to get something in return in order to be helpful or to receive a blessing. Like you could be a blessing to somebody and get blessings back later. You know what I mean? If you
Exactly.
no,
he's great.
Something, do it. Yeah. So
yeah, he's you want to know him. You want him to consider you his friend. Then if he considers you his friend, you're good.
Yeah.
Good person.
Yeah. That's my guy. That's my guy. So yeah, shout out to Dan. And yeah, hold on real quick. I wanted to just say, quick shout out to the Kobe tribute. I don't know if you saw, but they did a whole day version, not a whole day tribute to Kobe, where his wife spoke, all these NBA people spoke, the Michael Jordan spoke, Shaq spoke, and it was just really well done, David. I don't know if you saw it, but it might have been the best tribute that I've ever seen for anybody, period. They had Alicia Keys played a classical piece. I can't remember the song, but she played it on ESPN.
Okay.
Pushing Keys had a small orchestra behind her, a little string ensemble. Beyonce sang the crap out of something. Christina Aguilera,
Halo, right?
Ave Maria, yeah, Halo, and a joint. But yeah, man, it was really well done. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage for the wife to go up there, yo. Like,
so
right?
I'll admit I have not seen it yet, and I probably will soon. The Kobe thing, it's interesting. You and I have talked about this. I was so hurt when I found out that he passed, and I was so hurt when I found out the way that it happened and the fact that his daughter was with him. And I'll just be honest, one of my weaknesses is it's really hard for me to look directly at things like that.
Yeah.
Having two children of my own, the way my mind works is I take things in pretty quickly, and it's easy for me to feel emotions. And so I am going to watch it. I am going to sit down and I'm going to watch it, and I'm sure I'm going to cry, and I'm sure I'm going to.
Bro, I teared up like every 15 minutes. I was tearing up because once you saw the stars start tearing up, like the announcer started tearing up right off the bat. Michael Jordan started tearing up like off the strength, and I was like, "Sheesh!"
Right.
And then you hear the stories about Kobe not always putting the toilet seat down, and all this type of stuff, just being like a good pop. And it's like,
right.
You know what I mean? But yeah. So like I said, I'm glad I watched it. And I think we all need to watch it because I just think it will just align us to a certain degree with what's important in values and how we don't need to take life for granted. But just wanted to say, that was really good. That was really well done. And so that's all, man. I really wanted to just give a quick tribute to that. I know you and me had me and Patton had a great podcast that I'm going to post. I just put the music behind it. I think it might be one of the best ones that we've done. So, I mean, everybody stay tuned for Sunday. What is it, March 1st?
March 1st. Yep.
March 1st.
Yeah,
I just put some corny music to put on, but everybody go ahead and listen to that. But I wanted to give a quick few shout outs, Dave. Did you mind what order I wanted to go in? Or if you did mind, just say yes.
I don't mind.
Oh, okay, cool. So then I'll start off with Dave. So I wanted to start off with David because David goes just as hard as I do when it comes to what we're passionate about. But long story short, I think we have the plus minus 10, whatever I'm thinking, based off the disc assessment, me being a high I, and a high D,
Right.
high dominant, high influence. And I know he's high both of those. If you just take 5% or 10% off of either or, that's David versus me when it comes to not even versus, but just the alignment. So where I might be sitting there quietly contemplating and can't turn my mind off and struggling to sleep and all this type of stuff and feeling overwhelmed and depressed, David influence high I is actually just articulating it, describing it, and putting those emotions and feelings and expressing them verbally. And it's just it's interesting to see how that is, because I've never seen that before. But I'm really aware, and we're self-aware and present. And I'm like, wow, I think that's what's happening with that. And vice versa. Whenever I'm talking and getting loquacious and express myself, he's like, no, go ahead, please continue. And he's listening to stuff that might be sparkling and flying all over the place from my perspective. So it's a word. And for some reason, these words came up. And that's why I want to talk about this: competitiveness and competitive. When I think of Dave, I think of competitiveness. And when I think about these other people that I want to give shout outs to, I think I have specific words for them as well. But competitiveness is the word that I think about when it comes to David. So that's a testament. So now you have your own word. So this might be one of the new mantras that I go by based off our business principles. David equals competitiveness. But being competitive means you actually got to be able to compete. You know what I mean? Uh-oh, did you fall?
No, did you hear that just now?
Yeah, it sounded like you fell into a trash can.
That's very funny. Nope, I didn't fall into a trash can. That was my dog. Oh my goodness.
What's going on? Did he slip and fall into a trash bag? Like, what is he? Is it paper product? Like, what are you doing? Plastic?
Oh my god!
Like this one, the TPS recycle compost bit when I go to
it just turned into a Saturday morning cartoon. You know, like just like whoa. Yeah, that's funny. You're saying this serious thing, you know, David, and it's a mantra and competitiveness, and I just want to say this about
splish splash. Like what?
I slipped on a banana peel. Anyway. Oh my god.
Yeah, but David.
Sorry. Anyway.
No, don't worry. We can keep that going for a while. We're gonna stop right there. But like I said, competitiveness is important because you have to be able to compete.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you some bum sauce and you trash, you can't compete. So it's like, nah, you can't get that. So me saying that you're competitive and you can compete is huge because you got to be in a position and be talented enough to do that. This one will be quick.
Wow.
So yeah, shout out to Dave and him being able to compete and being competitive, because I think that's going to really open some gates for us in the future. Shout out to Big Pat. Timbo's probably asleep. He got 17 kids. He had a long day. Me and him did some basketball stuff this morning. I picked up a few of his basketball kids this morning because he couldn't get to it because he had like an issue with 5 of his 17 kids. But he also still showed up to the gym. Like I said, Patton just shows up. He's like a rider guy type of dude. And people know this, but you know, like when I went to the hospital for my shoulder, he stood there with me from, I think, 5:30 to 3 a.m.
Wow.
One day he gave me the Michael Jackson drugs, but he was so tall that he could just look over top of the door, and he could look over top of all the doctors because he heard they was giving me the Michael Jackson juice to like numb my arm up. And he's like, yo, don't y'all do nothing to him. So he like looked over top, and they told, all right, Mr. Patton, you have to step out the bit. He's like, all right, cool, yeah, but I'm gonna be right here watching y'all. You know what I mean? But this was also like at 1:45. Like this is when we were sitting in. If y'all don't remember, go back to that podcast episode when he was talking about the separated shoulder. Because I know people know more, but it was just a really funny story. But like I said, when I think of Patton, I think of the word loyal. So Patton's loyal to a fault. And then when I went back and looked at all the Devin Adams videos, Patton, y'all might not have saw him, but he was in all those videos either in the back, helping out, doing something, opening his gym, figuring a solution out, tournaments, trial and error type of stuff. So like I said, Patton is just loyal.
Wow.
Shout out to my man Kevin. When I see Kevin, I hear the word belief. You don't know Kevin yet. You'll meet him. But this one will be short because Kevin was one of my basketball players, David.
Yes.
And, now he's my assistant coach, and he actually coached the entire season because I was coaching TPS. He was coaching the high school. And he knows how much I believe in him, but I don't think he realized how much I want him to succeed because I do believe that much about him.
Wow.
Like I've invested in him. I brought Eric Thomas conference tickets for him. You know what I mean? I think at the time they were costing like $100, $200. I brought him because I said, when he was younger, I said, Kevin needs to see this. And I even have invested money into some of the projects that he wants to do that's in my garage because I believe in him so much. When he's ready, I'm like, oh, no, we good. I already brought the stuff.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So Kevin is Spider-Man. David, we already Star-Lord. Patton is Professor Hawk. But when I see Kevin, I just hear the words and see the words belief. Last one real quick before we go on, because I think this is going to be a perfect segue, David. I really do. And thanks for being patient and let me say this, because you know me, I like to tell people how great they are too. Devin, aka Khyree from Black Panther. I think Devin's about to blow up.
Wow.
And Devin is the type of person where, and this is important, where she works harder and does more than the people that I pay or want me to pay them. You know what I mean or not? Like,
no, I think that I don't want to interrupt you. I have an idea. When I hear that, I immediately think of something, but I'm going to let you finish because I think I do know what you mean.
Okay, yeah, because I pay people money for help and assistance and their professionalism. Oh man, you don't sound too good.
Thanks for bringing attention to it.
Is that your dog?
No, that's me coughing now.
Man, what's wrong?
I'm just coughing.
Oh man, we gotta get you some Robitussin, NyQuil.
I guess maybe probably just some water. I'll probably start with some water.
Some sea moss. Calm those. Get some. Shout out to sea moss.
Shout out to sea moss. I'm sorry, you were saying about Devin.
No, you good. No, she does more than she does more than the people that I pay, and then she also does more than the people that hit me up asking me to use them for their services. Like, how you gonna do that? First of all, number one, but number two, when I think of Devin, I think of value and production, and
wow,
and these pillars are just aligning, and these might be just the things that go by because she does things for free.
Right.
Better than the people that I pay stuff for. So like I said, Devin's that super S when it comes to the disc assessment. She's a high S, and I think she was a high C. And I already know she's an influencer because when me, Kevin, and Devin go out to celebrate or chill, we all have a good time. So I know she has that too. But yeah, I just really think about value and production. And that's why I know she will always have a seat at the table. But she's really about to blow up. For those that know Eric Thomas, she's about to be the CJ to Eric. She's about to be the CJ to me, and because she's about to be like, "Yo, Devin, we gotta go this way. No, we gotta go this way. We about to do this." She's too talented, and she's about to blow up. So I'm gonna leave that alone. Lastly, quick acknowledgement to my man Jay Rich, who does my videos too. Devin does my videos. Jay Rich does my videos. But what was good about Jay Rich, David, and hopefully we all meet soon. He did videos. The one I sent you through email. Yes. He did that video for me. I'm gonna say he's faithful and he never forgets.
Okay.
When we use this table analogy, and this is where you're about to probably just go in right now. He shot some videos for me. I put them on to a few people. He's already making it for me, but whenever he takes a gig that was assigned or that he got through me, guess what he does? He puts a post up or he shoots me a message saying, "Yo, Dad, way to be the plug," or "Yo, I'm at your site, like making moves," or he'll send me some motivation or inspirational quote saying, "Yo, to my brother, man, thanks for everything."
Right.
He doesn't have to do that. Jay Rich was super successful before me. He's a young brother making moves. We play basketball. He's played against Patton. You know what I mean? Like we've all played.
Right.
But for some reason, that's in his spirit. And I really wanted to just let him know. So shout out to Jay Rich, man, because when I think of you now, I always think of, you're always faithful. And that's just great. Khyree came through today, did a good job today with our basketball team. Had a big 3-4 days ago. His little wife, he didn't get mad that he came through. He's going to be running the whole DA select team. So you and me got to talk, David, and figure out what's his nickname going to be. But I don't care if people really wanted to hear something else. I don't care, because these people needed to hear their positioning with what we're trying to do.
Wow.
And you too. So I don't care. Can y'all get on? No. Guess what? I don't know. And that could be an insecurity thing, because I might be overthinking, you know me. But at the same time, David, no. When I think of David, competitiveness. When I think of Patton, loyalty. Kevin, belief. Jay Rich, faithful. Devin, value and production. Now, those are some key words and some key things that I think we might need to have like a pillar about. That's why I got to see that this the table we talking about. You know what I mean?
See, and I can picture it, and then I'll do a shout out to you. Even though this wasn't part of your plans at all, I'll do a shout out to you because I'm competitive, so I can't just have you.
God damn it!
Doing all these cool shout outs, and then
Mel too. She about to join the team.
Oh yeah, exactly. But what I want to say, the shout out to you is, and if I had to come up with a word for you, first I was gonna say real, but that's not. It's actually truth. So that's what you bring. You bring truth, and because of that, all these other pillars will stay with you. Because as I was thinking about it, you said you were talking about, for example, Devin. It's funny to say shout out to Devin, but I'm talking about Devin, who I'm speaking to right now, Devin Antoine Adams. Yeah, but you're the cinematography videographer. Devin? I don't know what her last name is.
Burks. Shout out to Don't Be Pressed podcast that she started. Kevin got a podcast out. No Stopping Calf podcast. Yeah, so go ahead.
Right. And the reason why she's going to work harder than those people who are asking for money or the people who you do pay is because you bring truth. So it's not always going to be smooth and comfortable, but it's going to be real and true. And so there is a certain group of people that's once they come into contact with that, they say, okay, time to be my best. And that's the power that you have because you're the truth. You bring the truth. That's what you hold yourself to that standard.
Yeah.
People who recognize that about you start doing their best. That's why you're a good coach. That's what your calling is. That's why all these people keep. And so I hope that you're able to be aware of that and enjoy that because being the truth is a big responsibility. It's a humongous responsibility. And hold on, my dog is driving me crazy. I'm gonna let him out, and I'm not gonna fall in the garbage can again.
I was about to say, don't slip and want a banana peel in.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and go down the steps. But no, you're right. But
it's heavy. It's heavy. When we were talking about this, and I don't know if I'm gonna say this too early, but it's funny because sometimes because you were saying that when I talk, sometimes it's like what you're thinking. The funny thing is, because I'm talking to you, and I know that I'm going to be basically you're paying attention to what I say, not in a judgmental way.
No,
but you'll know if it's not real though. That's the thing. So because of that, so some of the things that I'll say will be, I'm not ready for them. I can't, I'll say it and then I'll be like, oh, wow. So the other day we were talking about greatness. Yeah. And I said, greatness has a very high price.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Dave.
I said everything. I didn't even say greatness has a high price. I said everything has a price. Everything has a cost.
Yeah.
And greatness is so costly. It's the price is so high that the moment you realize you want it, you begin paying for it.
Oh, I don't even know.
So the thing is, sorry, go ahead.
No, that sounds crazy.
Right. So the thing is, that's you. So that's why I'm saying this. That's why you deserve this shout out right now. And it might sound crazy and it's weird to call somebody the truth who I know and who's my friend, but I'm still going to say it. And I hope you can appreciate it. And I hope you can appreciate the way these people are coming around you, because I know that you're paying for it.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
No.
I know there's the other side of it too. So sometimes I think it is important to stop and just appreciate and maybe be thankful that, you know, and enjoy the good, you know, because the cost is high, and I know that. So anyway, shout out to Devin.
That's clutch. I've never had nobody articulate or say it like that, but the greatness has a cost, and when you want it, you begin paying for it. No, you're right about that. I'm not going to even. I don't. My voice is starting to get tired because I've talked a lot today, but that is heavy, especially for me right now in this current time in my life and some of the stuff that I've gone through personally. But yeah, when you want it, you begin paying for it. Wow, sheesh. But you know what? It's all about growth, and it's all about doing what you called to do. And if you believe in something, shout out to Kevin, then everything's gonna work out according to not your plan, but God's plan. So we're just trying to get aligned with what He wants us to do. But it's interesting though, because like you said, some people can't, take. And this is what I wanted to give a shout out to Devin about. Some people can't take the compliments or recognize that they're shifting. Because it's been plenty of students that I've come across over the years, and then also plenty of people we've seen this year. You might not know this, but as soon as you see them starting to shift for the better, and you give them a compliment or you build them up, they self-sabotage and they revert right back to what they're familiar with, which is them being uncomfortable or being average or just going back to being awkward. You know what I mean or no?
I may not know exactly. I mean, I think in general, like overall, I know what you mean. I feel like you're thinking of something pretty specific, and I'm
thinking about a couple of specific things, but as soon as you're moving in the right direction and somebody brings it up, it's real easy for you to self-sabotage and go back to what you're comfortable. You go back to your training. You know what I mean? You see somebody becoming a big dog, and then you let them know, you're becoming a big dog right now. And then they revert back to their training. Why? Because they're not a big dog yet. And that's just something that's always bothered me over the years. Like, you got to become a big dog, and you got to become a real one, because when you get punched in the face and something challenges you, you already have to be a big dog. There's nothing for you to turn back to. You got to be a big dog already, or else you're going to revert back to the training that got you to be marginal.
Well, and I think so. That's so interesting, and I would love to hear more about what you think about this, because you've worked with so many people.
Sure.
That you have
these are just common things. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, right. I mean, and the thing is, as a teacher, it's not necessarily billed. Like, we don't necessarily market it as personal development, but it absolutely is, right? Yeah. And you don't necessarily say it's personal development either. But what's interesting is, like, something. Yeah, you're right. I completely agree with you. It's funny because what am I saying? I feel like I don't want to be negative, but I feel like a lot of people, as they move forward towards something that they want, and I'll put that in quotes, they self-sabotage.
Oh my God.
I feel like self-sabotaging is, I mean, there's so many ways to distract yourself and so many reasons to do it. And the people who do it a lot, right? Like, it's easy to point to your classic self-sabotager.
Yeah.
Because that person is a mess. And that's like part of their identity, right? So that's the person who, when you were in high school, they were going to go off to the military, or they were going to do this, or they were going to do that, and you had a party for them. But in your brain, you knew they're not going to do that. Yeah, they're not going to do it. They're going to, like, everyone here is having a good time and sending them off to the thing that they're about to go quit, because that's what they do. Yeah. And then they quit that, and then they do this, and their relationships are terrible, and it's whatever. And I mean, and I feel bad, but we all know a few people like that. And then the even more detrimental example is the person who's like in jail all the time. And I don't mean And I'm not saying that they don't have circumstances and around their life or whatever, but if you just talk to this person with a rap sheet, longer than themselves, they'll tell you that they sabotage themselves on purpose. They know it.
They know, and then you can go to students. When you see a student just doing so well, I've seen it with students and friends of mine, and you're like, wow, they look just so much more calm. It's a peace that they have. They just seem more relaxed. And then you pull them aside, like, yo, you're doing a really great job. Then the next day, you see them try to go back to what they were trained to do based off the environment that they were brought in. You know what I mean? And then you're like, yo, why are you taking these steps back? Why are you doing this? It's because it's, you know what I mean? So I don't want to, that's not what we are here to talk about, but it's something that I've noticed with friends of mine. It's something I've noticed with students that we've taught. And it's also something I've noticed with students that we currently teach. It's just like, don't be scared to be you. Take the mask off, acknowledge the feeling, and continue going that direction because it's the right way to go, man. And it pains me to see, oh man, because of so much trauma that these kids have been through, whatever it would be, whatever trauma it is, you see them breaking away from it or making steps positively. And then once you acknowledge it or you acknowledge it in public, they now feel that they must revert back in order to feel confident in that environment that they're in or feel confident in the feeling that they're familiar with. I think that's it.
I do. I mean, I think that's correct. I think from a thought pattern, like you said, what did you say? Training, right? Like sometimes I think of it like programming.
Training. Yeah.
We absolutely. And I also think that there's a component of like self-loathing too. I think that sometimes, and I think a lot of people have that. I think it's this weird thing, right? Like, I can't understand it because survival instinct is a real thing too. You will eat if you're hungry. You'll figure that out. You know what I mean? If you're actually starving and there's food around, you'll eat.
Yeah. But But I think we all do this though. You know what I mean? Like I ain't going to nobody. We all have, oh man, Devin, you're doing such a great job of keeping your temper under control. Yeah, you know what I am. Great. Then the next day when I'm challenged or during that same time while we're out, after you said that, I'm going to just need to do it just to prove a point that you can't predict who I am.
Right.
And you don't know me and you don't know what I've gone through because when we fit that pain allows us to feel like we're under control. The pain is the thing we can go back to. That pain controls us, that trauma controls us, and it makes us feel like we're in control rather than that unseen truth that we haven't experienced that we're going towards. We would say, nah, forget that. Let's take some steps back.
So what you're saying, oh my God.
This is why it ties to your greatness, bro.
But it's true because the thing is, oh my God, I had a moment like, it's funny because again, is this good for me? Yeah, it's very good for me. When we were leaving, I was so annoyed with my children when we were leaving to go get ice cream for our friend.
Shout out to the crew. Those are my youngins.
I was so annoyed with them. They just weren't listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and you're in the house a lot of the day and it's like you're tired. And I looked at my son and sometimes you have the two voices, you choose what you're going to do. You know what I mean? Like, all right, am I going to yell at him and scream, move my body quickly and, make him do this? Or am I going to like try to use my brain and talk to him? Because that's a child and he's not doing this to bother me, but he does need to learn something here because this isn't working. You know what I mean? Which one of these two am I going to do? Because my patience is very low and my energy is even lower. What do I do? And then another thought came in, which was, what if you could just do what you're supposed to do each time? And that was interesting because, and I thought about people who make better decisions than I do, because there's always going to be someone like that. And I thought, is it that they have better lives? No, I actually can't say that. I mean, some people do, but some people who have, and what's a better life anyway? But what I mean is some people who work, who have fewer responsibilities, let's say, maybe more money, more resources, make worse decisions than I do. And some people who have what seems like almost nothing in the most stressful life you could imagine seem to make better decisions than I do. So what's the difference? And I was thinking about that. I was thinking, so like, what is that? Because there's always this moment where you suddenly like, because what I had said to Mel was, I haven't yelled at these kids. I haven't raised my voice higher than I'm comfortable with in a week and a half. I blew it today though, because I just couldn't take it. I was just like, you know what? That's it. I deserve this. You know, like that kind of thing in my head. You know, like I've had enough. And somehow the decision was made that it was time to yell. And then I was back. You know, I'm back now. Now you listen. Huh? That's right. But wait a minute. Why did I have to do that? And the thing is because I'm me. How can I? Because it's scary to be not me, right? I was raised a certain way. I was programmed. Now I'm doing it, and I believe that. But if I want to make progress, right? We talk about generational curses. We talk about family curses. We talk about trauma, Devin, because we're interested in that. And one of the reasons why I'm interested in that is because I am convinced that there are millions of people on the earth who carry around very similar things and can't get rid of them. And I'm interested in that because I'm interested in breaking through, because my kids need to break through, because I'm going to be dead one day. They're going to be alive. Then they're going to have kids. What is my legacy? So yes, I'm sitting there watching Everett put on his shoes, and I am thinking about heaven and earth and hell in that moment, because I'm thinking, what decision do I make? Decisions are important. I don't really know. I'm starting to fly off a little bit, so I'm going to come back to the discussion because I'm not sure that's where you want to go.
No. Believe it or not, you're not flying off. You are not flying off, because I hear everything you're saying, and it aligns perfectly with this whole greatness piece. That's the challenge.
Right.
Being great is the challenge. That's the progress. Go ahead.
No, that's
you're tying his shoes up, and you like, yo, what am I going to do?
Exactly. Right. Like, how do I, in this moment, how do I be what he needs me to be and what I should be as a father? How do I do this the right way? You know what I mean? And what that takes is support. It takes support from the people around you. It takes, you know, something you said earlier, you know, it takes presence and awareness. You have to get yourself into the habit of being able to snap into an observing position, right? Because the thing is, when things are going, they're going to be going. You can't really, as a human being, you can't escape that, right? So stuff that you're not expecting, things that hurt, all that kind of stuff, that's going to happen.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah.
But how do you deal with it? And if you can't kind of observe it, if you can't take, they call it a meta moment, right? If you can't take that quarter of a second to remove yourself from it enough to not fully identify with it, that's it. It's over. You're not a human anymore. You're a whatever. So when people say, I'm so mad, no, they're not. They're experiencing anger. They're not mad. They're whatever they are. That's a mistake with language. You're not mad. Don't confuse yourself. You're going through a reaction right now based off of your circumstance. You're not mad.
Self-aware enough to realize that you're not mad right now.
Exactly. If you can observe, you'll still feel it. You'll still feel some kind of way, but you will have saved yourself. Maybe, and people are going to make mistakes. No matter. We're human, mistakes, bro. But we got to give ourselves what we can give ourselves. And so I know I'm going off completely.
You didn't go off completely. You're right on track, because first of all, we want to attract greatness in our lives, right? You and me want to do that. Right. We all want, or the people at the table. And I'm gonna just use the word, even though it was kind of funny. Like the Thanos stuff was funny. I think this high table like that. Like once you and me blow up, and Patton and all of us blow up in the next year or two, like you have to strip a lot of what got you to that point in order to become great. Like you can't hold on to everything. Right. Like it's a process. Like you said, this is all about a process of growth. And what got you to this point won't propel you to the next. Right. What got you to become a good father, David, is not going to propel you and get you to what it takes to become a very good father. It's going to be something else that you want to hold on to, that you're going to have to let go of. Same thing with that. Same thing with relationships. Same thing with business. And and I think that's the hardest part about becoming great, because you already said it, and I've never heard anybody say it like that. Is greatness has a cost. And you said, what did you say? When you want it, that's when you begin to pay for it.
Exactly.
And it hurts because you can't go back to the things that got you to that point. You have to transcend it. You must. And you have to lose or cut things that you were working towards. That's called progress. Like, you have to lose or cut the things.
Yes.
And man, but it got you to that point. That's why you're like, oh man, I can't abandon it. But guess what else that goes into? That goes into a poverty mindset. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so many levels to all this. You got to lose or cut the things that you're working towards in order to get you to where God sees you or how he views you as. God sees us as, he has a vision of us, and we're trying to get to that, but we don't like it because we have to lose so much of that we have control over.
Right.
Which is our anger, which is our pride, which is our ego, which is our whatever thing we turn toward. You know what I mean? And so that's why when I tell people, and even you, that you have a seat at the table of all of us, it's because I know we're all leaving something behind that got us to this point. We're all leaving something that we want to go back to because it's easy and it makes us feel like we're in control. So when people want to join us or you want to talk to me, oh, nah, you got to go through. Even though I'm a high I and I'm a high D and you're a high D and a high I, I'm going to tell them, oh, no. All right, cool. Patton, you got the power of discernment. You're not going through me. You're going through Pat first.
Okay.
And then after that, oh, no. Y'all going to go to Dave because Dave can evaluate too. He's a high I. Like, what? And then like, that's the thing about this whole table thing. Like, it ain't gonna be no leech. Like, leeches, they don't even know they leeches. They don't know. And most leeches, they ain't even like really bad people.
No.
And they're okay. But you need to know this is what you're doing. Like, you can't just, and the consumer, you can't just consume from us. And that's why I love Jay Rich.
You're preaching right now. Go ahead, keep going.
No, that's it. And you can't just be a leech without knowing it. You can't be that naive. And if you are, you don't deserve to be in the crew. You can't just consume, because if you're consuming, you're not giving anything back. You're not being a blessing to anybody else. You're taking our blessings from us. And then you can't just take advantage of us, because that's a sin. And that means you're just desperate. No. And if that means that that's the majority of the people that we may come across, or the majority of the world, or even people within our circle, that's why when you said what you said about being great and I'm already paying for it, that's why I almost was like, dang.
Right. Well, it's
heavy.
And everything you just said, the funny thing about it is, and I don't want to sound, and this is just funny too, because like my brain is always thinking about different kinds of ways to look at something. And to me, so just if anybody's listening, there's no arrogance in what Devin just said. And if you want to figure out how to set up your friendships, do exactly what he just said. It's not, this isn't even like building a company.
No,
it doesn't. Just if you want to know how to be around people who will be good for you, it's all the things that he just talked about. And the truth is, the truth of the matter is that, and I said this to you too a while ago, and it was another thing that kind of threw me off, but it was about my own life and my own experiences. Some people want your greatness, and other people want to see you become great. They want to see you express your greatness and enjoy it. And there's a difference. And the ones who want your greatness are leeches. The ones who want your greatness have figured out, and I'm putting that in quotes, figured out that they don't have greatness. The truth is, though, the people who know that they want to see you become great, they can handle that burden. They can handle the idea that they're next to somebody who they want to see reach their full potential, because they have the same opportunity inside of them. They recognize it. All of us have that opportunity, by the way. Every single human being has that. It's just that some people are so stuck. They're so stuck in their thought processes for whatever reason. And I'm not saying like, and they're worse or somehow they're, because I get stuck in my thought processes all the time. But
And
what I'm
leech ain't a
saying
bad
is,
thing though. Leech isn't a bad thing. That's just some people. They might let's say you and me go out to eat, David, and we invite some people out. They always there. They always show up. Or we have an event and they always there. But it's also just like whoa. You're always there, but you're not doing anything for us. And I'm not saying you have to do anything, but are you being a blessing? Are you going to try to split the joint? You're just always there. You know what I mean?
well, that's the
That's the leech.
that's why I say, yeah,
but nah.
that's why I say that, like, with it's in terms of like your friends and everything else, right? Like, I mean, it's hard, right? Like it's a difficult thing, but the truth is you are an aggregate of the 5 people who you spend the most time with. So if you're around people who are very hot-headed and they're not super nice and they're maybe a little bit self-absorbed, or they get in fights all the time, or they're always using some kind of a drug, or they can't hold a job, they have no ambition, whatever it is, if those are the kind of people you're around, that's the kind of person you are.
Yeah,
and that's not the same. If you're around people who are always reaching for the next thing, people who are ambitious, people who, even if they look around and they see things that aren't that great, somehow manage to have enough positivity to believe in themselves, that's the kind of person you are.
Exactly.
And it's scary for everybody. I remember when I was in college, maybe it was high school, I had this vision, because I know, Devin, you have visions. And the vision is of a person running as fast as they can with tears in their eyes toward their fears. So it's just like this big field.
Oh man, that's crazy.
And there's just this kind of mass, this swirling, like terrifying looking, just all the things you're afraid of.
Yeah.
And I think that you have to run towards that, because if not, you don't get to. You're gonna run toward it, or you're gonna run away. If you're running away, then you're looking for your comfort.
Yeah, thank you. You're running right back to what you are a slave to. You know what I mean? And
yes.
And you said it so well, and thank you for saying it. But let's not. I don't want to pretend like I think I'm on like a pedestal. I definitely don't think that. But I also just want to tell people, like, I want to bless people. Like today, I brought some Girl Scout cookies. I was in a parking lot with Patton after we had basketball practice. We had a little meeting. It went well. I was like, man, I don't want no cookies. I don't want none. No, I don't want. I wanted to say, nah, I'm good. But I said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get some wine, because I can try to be a blessing to this family, or I could be a blessing to this girl. She said, how much is a box? She said 4. I'm like, all right, cool. And they had my flavor I wanted to eat. I was like, dang, I wanted these joints. Yeah. And then, I said, well, how much for 2 boxes? And she said, okay, well, it's 4, so it'll be 8. I said, all right, cool, no problem. Let me just, because it's $4, not that much, man. That's a handful of quarters. I said, let me get 2 boxes. And then I was like, all right, cool. Oh, that's my flavor I wanted. And she laughed. It was a youngin' in the back seat. She started laughing. And I was like, bet. That's, that's what I'm talking about, though, being a blessing. I'm about to give some money to somebody else to start something that they want to start. Why? Not because, it's a money thing. No, it's because I need to be a blessing to them, because that's what God said to do. Be a person of service, and service. When are we going to get to the point where we feel better giving money than taking it from somebody? And I can't ignore that. So that's why, but I also need people in my circle, AKA David, AKA Patton, to let me know, like, yo, Devin, slow down, this person, or slow down. Like, just know, because I know you have a giving heart, and I know you're a high D and a high I. Let me use my discernment, because, all right, cool. Right? That's not my gifting. Maybe it's not when I'm in the spirit of giving. But that's all I'm saying. Like, what are you willing to lose or give in order to gain? Right. What are you willing to give to gain? That's why the whole inner circle, people might not even know about us like that, but they are going to. And when they do, they know about you, me, Pat, and Devin, and Kevin, and even Khyree. What have you lost in order to get where you are? And that's not a bad thing. But it's like, what have you stripped? What human aspects of your life have you stripped? What sacrifices have you let go of with your ego to propel you to the person God views you as? Once you do that, Look, join our crew. This tab is on me. We should be trying to outvalue each other. No. This tab on me. No. This on me. No. Like we do already on a minute level. You know.
Right.
That's this whole greatness piece, bro. But I know we've gone in a little bit, but I just don't care because greatness is important. Because at least we're trying to do something about it, bro.
Well, yes. I was thinking about this too because I think greatness is an interesting word because it's one of those words that could mean different things to different people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it always is. Like I was asking some people because I knew we were going to talk about this, and it's funny. I talked to my son. I said, "What does it mean to be great?" That's kind of a big question for a 6-year-old.
Yeah. What'd you say? That's funny.
Well, he said first he just kind of like looked at me like, I don't know, Daddy. It means that you're great. Yeah. He like looked at me like, don't you? I mean, is that? And I said, well, okay. I said, but when people are great, like what kind of people are great? Like what are those people like? Can you talk about them? And what he wrote was he said they're professional people in the Olympics because they're the world's best. And I accepted that. I let him continue.
He said that for real? That's crazy.
Dinner. That's what he said.
That's tough.
Now, in his mind, that's where he put it. And it's kind of a literal thing, right? But like, you're talking about sacrifice. And we got the Summer Olympics coming up. And I don't think it's not a big jump at all. Anybody who enjoys watching the Olympics, we know that's part of the reason we watch. We know they've sacrificed a lot. And yes, they're gifted. And yes,
coronavirus.
What's that?
If they let it go on, they don't shut it down for the corona jump.
Well, that's depressing. All right, mate. Well, any Olympics, okay?
Yeah.
Not just this summer's. But we know how much they've sacrificed is my point. And his little 6-year-old mind was thinking about that, and I'm sure if we had had a whole discussion, we would have gotten further, but that was interesting. I also asked the kid's godfather who was over, Brian, and he was cooking with the kids, and I said, what's greatness mean to you? And he kind of, he's a very, an extremely, like, intensely spiritual guy. Does a lot of meditation, a lot of qigong. He's been doing this for like over 10 years, very in touch with a lot. And he said, I think greatness is great love. And I said, can you elaborate? And he said, well, it's great love for yourself. It's great love for humanity, for the planet, for all creation. He said, if you have great love for all of these things, you will do great things. I like that answer. Yeah. And I said to him, okay, so who in your life? So who? Name some great people. And he was like, well, all right, Dr. King. I'm going to just immediately say Dr. King. And then he said, Grace Lee Boggs. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Grace Lee Boggs, but she's a huge civil rights activist, did a lot with education, among other things. And then lastly, he said, my mom. And I really enjoyed that answer. And he said, he's like, I'm not saying my mom did what Dr. King did. And I stopped him and I said, well, yeah, but we're looking for answers like that because that shows the different, like, not everybody's going to be some famous person. And when someone's famous, it's easier actually to agree on the level of greatness that maybe the impact that they've had. But when you have like an individual who isn't famous, maybe it's a little bit more difficult to know how many lives they've affected. But we all know, if we think for a minute, a teacher or a community member of some sort who we know touched many, many lives. Yeah. And they're not famous, but they did. They were like they were a force. And I said, if you want, would you tell me some qualities that make your mother great? And he said, well, she's a love genius. And I love the way Brian talks. He said, she's a love genius. She's a kind and generous person.
That's tough.
And if you ever meet Julie, Brian's mom, you'll know what he's talking about, because as soon as you walk in the room,
never heard love.
She looks at you and you're the most important person in the world. You feel that way. She looks at you and smiles. And then, in that moment, when she's focusing on you, you are the most important person in the world. The fact that he grew up with a person like that, it kind of explains why he is the way that he is. So there's different kinds of greatness. Not everybody is going to want the things that I want. But the way that you go about living, I think has a lot to do with greatness. And as you were talking, I think it takes some courage. I think it takes some courage to actually do that. And
It's tough being great, or what's not inspiring, but aspiring to be that. It really is, man.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you're cutting ties away from things that have gotten you to a point that you have relationships with, strong foundations to, loyalties to, emotions you turn to when you feel a certain way. Like, it's hard, man. And so we're not here judging anybody whatsoever. First of all, number one. Number two, I've never heard the word love genius before, but I like that. That has a really delicate, but forceful,
Right.
um,
Right. Yes.
wording.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's great. And yeah, we're definitely not here casting aspersions on nobody, man. We're just saying, like, yo, man. First of all, I think you and me are really saying it's hard to get to that great point. Life is
Yeah.
short, but God has a calling for us, and He sees us as great. What are we prepared to strip and leave in order to get to the version that He views us as? And that's hard. And we're also just
Right.
talking about, hey, when you're trying to do that, your mind is going to elevate. You're going to vibrate differently. Shout out to vibrations and all that type of stuff, frequencies, even light, sunlight, mindset. Once you level up, you're going to be able to recognize and see certain things that are going to make you feel kind of bad, but you're also going to be like, I'm above and beyond that now, on a deeper spiritual sense and physical sense as well. So, like I said, man, it's real out here, man.
It's real. And
It's real, bro.
As you move forward, I can guarantee you that the distractions will become more attractive.
Oh,
so that's the thing. Like, right, once you're at a certain point, the distractions are kind of like survival based, right? Like you know what I mean? And then you get to a certain point, and then the distractions become something different because that you kind of moved up on that hierarchy of needs, and so much is taking care of itself now that it's kind of hard to go all the way back. So now the distractions are pretty strong, right? Because the mathematical equation is a little bit different. Each time you move forward now, you gain more whatever. You were talking about vibrations and everything else. And I don't know if this is funny, right? Like, I don't know. Some people might not agree with me at all, and they'll feel like this is pseudoscience. If you're listening to what I'm saying, I this is real. The better you get at something, the more progress you make in a certain area, the distractions will become more compelling. They'll become harder to discern between what is real and what is not, and they will become more attractive. That's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
And I know it from some experience that I've had, like firsthand.
Yeah,
I mean, like, it's funny. Like, and I won't go into super personal business, but I just when you're faced with different things, and I can also think of times when I failed, when I made the wrong choice, when I made the wrong choice. You know what I mean? And the other thing that I want to say about that is that's super important too, because I'm not saying failure is important. No, sorry. Let me say that again. I'm not saying that failure is what you should shoot for, but failure is a word that everybody's so afraid of. But failure is a learning opportunity. That's what failure is. So what do you do after failure? One of my best friends said that. So you can make mistakes, make missteps, errors, and everything else. That's great. What will determine who you are is what you do with those. Are you the kind of person who learns from failure? If you learn from failure, boom. You know what I mean? It's not just the get up, 7 times after getting knocked down 6, or 9 times after getting knocked out, whatever. That's great. Yeah, get up. That's great. But if you just put your face out to get punched again, wait a minute, hold on. So this person is punching. Maybe back up, maybe put your guard up a little bit. You have to learn from the failure. You know what I mean? You still there?
Can you hear me or not? My bad. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So I heard everything you said. But I'm going to share a quick story because I don't think I told one person this, Justin Miller. I think back in the day, big shout out to Justin, big 6'10" ball who protected me like 6 years ago. All I'm trying to say is this was before me and I'm single. So before me and my ex-fiance broke up, like 2 or 3 days, we got into a big argument. Right. And I was just like, I didn't know where it came from. Right. But I said, all right, cool. I'm feeling some type of way. Long story short, I went to a bar down the street. And I kid you not, this is exactly what happened. And I think this was like, what are you going to do type of moment.
Yeah.
This beautiful woman sat right beside me, looked just like my ex-fiance, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful, looked just like her. Sat down, looked at me and said, hey, how are you? I'm like, oh, I'm cool, no problem, whatever. Because I have self-control. I'm a man, but, I have self-control. Like, I've been around attractive women before. That doesn't faze me. But then she said, watch my purse and I'll be right back. I promise you, I'll be right back. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
I said, why'd you say I promise you? In my head, that's what I said. And she was walking away. She had like this little flowy little thingy on. I was like, okay, all right. Yeah, pretty old youngin'. I said, whoa, she looks just like a version of my ex at the time. And I'm just like, yo, what's up with this? And the dude that was at the bar, he saw her too. He's like, yo, man, she's pretty, man. Why she sit right beside you? I said, I have no idea. But she said, just watch her purse and she promised she'll be right back. And then guess what I did?
What did you do?
I left. I said, I swear to God, I said, this is a trap. I said, when I saw her coming from the bathroom or whatever, I immediately just got up and left. I said, all right, I'll do my due diligence. But I said, nah, this is a trap. Now, me and my youngin', we broke up, a couple of days later, but I didn't feel bad about it. Like, oh man, that was my shot to do something. I said, that was the right thing for me to do for my conscious and my level up state of mental strength, mental fortitude, and temptation. I think I did the right thing, but I'll remember that, David.
No, absolutely. That you will never forget that.
Yo, this bad youngin'. Why you like me? Why you right? This whole joint, you right beside me. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that sounds like some James Bond stuff. I mean, she was a little too smooth.
Yo, she was real smooth.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
I was smooth back, but I was like, nah, this is a trap. I said, nope, nope.
Watch Game my purse. I promise I'll be right back. Excuse what?
Yeah,
what's
excuse me.
Yeah. Who said what?
This is a trap. And the thing is, the only reason I say that is because I was like, yo, man, like I'm trying to wrap it all up. I'm saying like, I'm just trying to be great at all aspects of my life.
Yes.
Like I'm trying to be great when I am in a long-term relationship. I'm trying to be great. And I'm trying to be great with my business. I'm trying to be great with personal relationships. I'm trying to be great as a teacher, as an educator, as a student, as a person of God. I'm trying to be, and that's hard to do.
Yes.
And if people don't get that, then hey, F you.
Now, Devin,
that's really what it comes down to, for real.
Why are you trying to be great? For real.
Why? Because that's that's the chase. That's the only thing that I will ever chase. You can't chase two things. You can't chase two rabbits. The only thing you can really chase, if it's coming about like me saying something, going towards it, is the person God views you as. Your twin. That's the only thing I'm trying to chase is my twin. And if I chase my twin, as I go the direction that my twin is in, I will eventually go this direction as a magnet. I will attract the people that will align to my vision and that will align to where I'm trying to go. And we will both be better served because of me going my direction, them going their direction, and us aligning towards where we need to go, bro.
Wow. Okay.
But that's hard to do, right?
Well, yeah, and I mean, you're not going to ask me. The reason why I'm interested in greatness is because I'm convinced that any other thing, and also the definition, right? So greatness for me is not actually $1 billion. I mean, I wouldn't mind $1 billion. In fact, I would love to have.
Thank you. I want $1 billion because I can tell people, look, I'm great. I got this money too, but I'm a good person too. So forget you.
but the only thing that I've noticed though is that when I chase things that other people feel are really good,
Yeah.
which is fine. I mean, and I might feel that they're good too. That's not where you stop.
No.
So if you get something like a personal best in sports, some sports thing, or a certain salary, or this or that, you'll find that the thing that was pushing you toward it, that you knew would feel good once you got it, is not satisfied after a while.
True.
You'll find that the thing that there's no, people have said like trying to fill a hole and everything, maybe, but whatever that thing is, that ambition, like you can't have it's, think about it. You have ambition to move forward to get a thing. The ambition got you to the thing. You still have the ambition.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I think can satisfy the part that wants more,
Okay.
is knowing that I'm moving toward that. So for example, when I picture myself and I see things in visions, like the whole running toward the fear thing,
Sure.
I would love it if I could walk into a room so bright that other people light up too.
Boom. Yeah, that's great.
You know what I mean? Like that feels really good, because there are so many people who are so in the dark. And I don't mean it like, and I know more than them. I mean,
No, we're all in pain. We're all
I drove home the other day and I saw somebody nodding themselves awake and asleep on the stairs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like they're living in a completely different reality than I am right now.
Yeah.
You know, and when I think about things like hope and things like that, I mean, one could make an argument that certain people who are born into the world lose hope immediately. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I want to be the opposite of that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's tough. I mean, I know we're talking about greatness. Greatness is broad, but it just sucks because I know that personally. And then I'm curious to see what you say before we wrap this up.
Yeah.
It's just I've lost a lot of good people, and I know that I'm not perfect, and I know I have things to work on myself. But I just know there's been a lot of good people that have been hurt because I know that I personally deserve to be around great people and people that are also working too. You know what I mean? And it hurts, bro. It really does, especially with me being an empath, me being empathetic, me wanting to be a person of service and make sure everybody around me is comfortable. I just know I've hurt a lot of good people on accident. And, you know I've just had to separate myself from good people as well, because I'm trying to get to this great status that it's not like a cult or nothing crazy. It's just, look, I'm going this way, yo. And yeah, we'll have fun. We'll have this. We'll have that. We'll be fine. But I'm going this way. And either you going this way or you not. Either you trying to, you know what I mean? Like, that's just with people in general. And I have plenty of great friends. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I just also know that, some good things have been left on the wayside too. That's all.
I understand. I understand. I mean,
what's your final thoughts on great versus leaving behind what is good, and how to that? Because that's one of them questions that you would ask me, one of them pop-up questions.
I think that right now, at the point that you're in, and I think the point that I'm in too, all we have right now is language to explain things, right? So,
yeah,
I mean, we have other ways too, but we're on a phone call, we're like doing a podcast, so we're using language, and I think it is suitable and appropriate to say that you are trimming things from your life to speed up and move into places that you don't even understand, in order to understand those places, to keep moving forward, and that, in order to, you always talk about social proof, and you're making sacrifices because you're doing an experiment with your own life, plugging in things, getting results, and then you want to say, see, I did this and it works, and you should do it too.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. That's the language we have now. I have this idea that once you get to a certain point, you realize that you never lost any of the good things that you had anyway. You never lost them. So I believe there's a reunion. I don't actually think that once you get to a certain level, you've given anything up. And I actually don't think, even though we're using language like, now how are we saying this? Changing, and what the thing that got you this far, you leave it behind so you can get further. That's how we're thinking about it right now. The truth is, the greatness is within you in every second, and that you can actually, and you'll see people who do this, you can have epiphanies and you can move forward light years in 1 second. It can happen. It doesn't usually happen. Usually people take time. They need time. But you'll see people, maybe they go through a lot. Maybe they have something that presses it out of them, or maybe they just have this kind of weird freak thing happen where suddenly they appear to be different people. But they didn't. And we always talk about progress and moving forward and ascending. What's actually happening is you're going in deeper. You're staying still, and you're going back to the beginning. You gain experiences. You become an adult, but you should be childlike in your way of being. You're an adult with adult experiences, adult wisdom, adult knowledge, adult common sense, but you should be childlike. And if you can do that, and I am certainly not like that, but in moments when you become childlike and you go in, you go deep, and you go back, then you realize you didn't lose anything. You're a product of all of this. All of this is you. You are all of this. And the more that you're able to kind of play with that, I'm saying idea because that's the stage of development that I'm at.
Gotcha.
But it's not an idea. It's the truth. Yeah. It's just a fact. Everything that you can see, all the images that are occurring, they're not out there. They're in here. The light that's coming into your eyes right now, the door that you see, the stairs that you're looking at, the books over there, that piano. These are all things happening inside of you. We don't know what's happening out there. You'll never know. That's not reality. Is what's happening inside. So wow. the actual
reality is what is happening inside. Is that what you said?
Yes. Got you. And the universe plays this game where it wants to know itself. And that's our job. So as we figure more of this stuff out, I think what happens is whatever. Let me stop. I don't know how long we've been on this. So I've been careful.
That's the thing. Nobody cares. I don't care. like if you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it no more. The fact is that if you're not listening to it at this point, or you didn't come back to it and listen to it at this point, it wasn't for you.
It was time to,
It was meant for them to turn it off. So kick rocks, who cares, skedaddle, or hey, welcome back. Feel free to turn it back. Like that's it. Yeah, it don't matter.
It's true. So that's the thing about this greatness thing. I think when we follow the universal laws more and more, we become aware of them, and then we follow them. I think there's a simplicity that occurs.
Yeah.
And, we were talking about Michael Jordan, and, sometimes he would become a superhero. You'd see him, he'd be trying, but then there'd be a point where it would be like, I don't even understand. Like, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, he's got the flu. He just scored, 63 points. You're not supposed to be able to do that. If you have the flu, you should be like sleeping. Why is he doing this?
Yeah.
It's because yes, he was a great athlete, and he tried. All that though wasn't why he did that. It's all that stuff moved him out of his own way, got him out of his own head. You get his body to a certain shape, his mental toughness to a certain point, And then he just says, "Okay, play me." He's not playing the game. The game, it's just game's playing him. Like it's just,
yo, play me.
yeah, like just that's it. So, all right, that's my view on greatness.
Hey man, like I said, this can be an ongoing discussion. It could be part 2 or part 3 because we've already done part 1 and 2 already. But like I said, at the end of the day, if you're still listening, cool. If you tune back in, it's all good because we're just taking deep dives, of accountability, and everything starts with us. Our health, our well-being, our mental state. If we don't take care of ourselves first, we can't help other people healthily and effectively. And during this transition or this journey into greatness, God knows the desires of our heart. So as soon as we take the mask off of our face and as soon as we become the person he wants us to be and how he sees us, and we're not the characters that we're playing, he can't bless a character. He can only bless the person he created. So once we get closer to that design that he sees us as, that's when we'll start to attract the people that belong in our lives, and we'll attract the greatness in people, and we'll attract the great people that will help us get to those next levels of greatness. So, like I said, man, thank you for the call, man. We did good.
Yes.
I'm never not worried about no longevity of how long this joint runs. I don't care because if we help us, you and me, selfishly, then that's a welcome selfishness. If we help somebody else, if they listen to it and want to ask us a question about it, regardless, once we do better, we'll be able to help other people. And us talking this long is going to help somebody else. So, and it might push them or inspire us to talk about something else or become better too. So, like I said, man, I guess Patton fell asleep. A little nap for Big Tree. Big Tree, a little sleepy time. Nappy, sleep. Past his bedtime, time. Big Tree, sleepy, fall hard, me sleepy.
Oh man,
that's gonna make him mad, but I don't care. So, Dave, get some rest, man. Everybody go online. Go on. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. Spread the word. The more reviews we get that are high quality, if you really support it, then cool. Then that bumps us up in the ratings, and it allows us to get to other avenues we haven't even seen, other greatnesses that we haven't even seen yet. So please spread the word. If you think this message could help somebody, if you want to come on the show, give us a call. I'll be more than happy, and me and Dave will be more than happy to talk to you. Shout out to Big Tree. Shout out to our squad. Shout out to the high table. It's only a high table because people have lost so much to get there, and people are striving towards progress. So everybody make moves, move markets, stay blessed. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
All right, man.